That's funny. I sit down there like, we can hear every word you say. That is great. So what are you guys saying? Like, are you guys having like a deep personal conversation here? Or?
No, not really.
Because you sound a little worried. You're like, they can hear every word we say. Oh my god. I can't believe you said that about Conga. Oh, wow. All right.
Conga, she's here now.
Yeah, she is here. We've got, actually, it seems like all the moderators are here.
And I don't think anyone can hear us over the music.
Stream.
Okay, I will click off the music for now and say hello, everybody. How is everybody today? I'm so glad to be here. So, for everybody... well, actually, before I go any further, let's introduce our special guests. Of course, we have back from... every week that we've done this, and of course all of our tournaments, we have the notorious Lapapsnow, or Luke.
Am I really notorious?
You're becoming notorious. Well, I would say
that people don't like me too much.
Well, at least you're.
True.
Well, actually, a lot of people like you. You are notoriously here. That's one thing. You are notoriously here. People know you well now as part of the stream. So this is it. This is a thing. You're here. And
I think.
What's that?
Sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead. I want you to talk, Luke.
Deluks.
Yes?
Deluks. Introduce Patchouli. Go.
And also, we have Patchouli, also notorious on my channel for leaving enormous walls of text for me to read and eating up.
Especially today.
Did you leave me lots of messages today?
Yeah, I left like 2 gigantic messages. I think it's a new time record.
Oh, well, that's great. You know what? I have a very regimented schedule, actually, when it comes to doing this stuff. And every second day I try to go through all my comments and reply to as much as I possibly can. And then every third day I just do Patchouli's. Because he leaves me such enormously long, full of juicy information. Do you play?
It's almost like research, right?
It is actually. That's where I get all my information is from Patchouli. They had his walls of tests. At the beginning, like when I first started doing YouTube, a lot of the advice it's hard. You don't know how to take it. It's like, okay, well, are they just criticizing and am I just doing this wrong? But no, I've actually started to embrace this stuff, and I'm like, oh, I need this. So, just a question, Patchouli. Patchouli. How much do you play all the games that I play, or do you just research it all, or?
Well. It's kind of a mix of two. Most of the game I play myself, but then again I'm a very analytical person who likes to consider the game mechanics and game design that went into making those games. And what's fun for me is understanding how the game works. And with that, every time I play a game, I just can't avoid receiving that much information just from looking at it and then sharing it with other people.
It's amazing. It seems like you have touched everything. It's pretty incredible. I accepted your lashing I think I replied to you on Wargaming Net and like, oh, let's not pay to win. I got a lashing from you, a verbal lashing. Yeah. You're like, it is so. But of course it was 3 pages long. So whatever, it's all good. I can take it. So anyway, welcome to the show. This is Crash Test Indie Weekly. This is the February 28th edition, and today we've got actually a really exciting show today because we are covering some stuff that's been sort of floating around for some time. Specifically, one title that I'm just like, I blew my mind. I don't know. But anyway, do you guys have the list in front of you? Who wants to tell everybody what we're covering?
Yeah, I have the list in front of me. So today we're gonna cover SuperHot, a game that's been out for quite some time and that we already talked a bit about. Then we have Factorio, which is coming out on Steam today. It's been in early access for a while, but it wasn't on Steam yet.
Right.
And now it's on Steam. So, yay!
Is it today that it comes out? I thought it already came out on Steam.
Well, it came out this week.
Oh, okay.
Then we have Tales of Maj'Eyal, and that's a roguelike game. Mm-hmm. A very big and very full of content roguelike game, which doesn't look like a roguelike game because it has graphics, something that a lot of roguelike games can afford. And here end the games that I'm familiar with. So, the other games that we have are Megapolis, Gardenarium, and Life in Bunker, which I
Right.
believe Deluks already covered on his channel before.
I did a pre-release video on it, but I figured I would let everybody, we'll touch on it just to sort of go in and take a look at it again and see if anything's directly changed, like obviously changed, because today or this week it actually came out in early access. So the last time I touched it was pre-release, like I don't know, but I think they were pretty much good to go for the Steam launch anyway. But we'll take a look at it anyway. And yeah, so how are you guys doing this week? What have you guys been playing? I mean, we might as well talk about the kinds of things that you guys are actually into right now because people are interested.
Indeed. Patchouli, if you'd like to go ahead.
Well, lately I've been playing a lot of strategy games like Homeworld Remastered, for example. It came out relatively recently, and people's impressions were a bit mixed because, of course, there are people who are fans of the classic Homeworld. It's a really, really big space opera game that did quite a number on people's impressions.
It did, yeah.
Story and soundtrack. And yeah, I've been trying that because I've
And
never
I'm sorry,
got
did you say you're playing the original Homeworld Remastered?
No, I'm playing the Homeworld Remastered because I never played the original.
Oh, okay. But have you tried Deserts of Karak?
Deserts of Karak? No, I haven't tried that yet because I believe that I should play the first and second game first.
Yeah. Another one you should check into. Oh, I don't know. Hold on. Bad things are happening. You guys can't hear it, but hold on. I don't know why this launched on the wrong window. Anyway, yes. Have you tried another one to try and hopefully? Oh, I see. I didn't push windowed. Another one to try in your travels while you're doing all this is Cataclysm, Homeworld Cataclysm, and I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but I think it was made by a different developer. Or they had sold the license to somebody else to actually cover or do a DLC for Homeworld, and it's a completely different experience, but it's the same experience. Oh, wow, that's super loud. Okay. So if you have a chance, check that out because I think of all the Homeworlds, I enjoyed Cataclysm the most, and I think I played the most multiplayer on Cataclysm too as well. And it seems like I can never find it. I don't think it was made by Sierra because I think the original Homeworld was Sierra, and then they sold the rights to somebody else. I don't know what it was. I don't remember who it was, but yeah. But anyway, check that out too as well. I haven't played Karak either, and it's sitting. I've got it. I own it. I bought it like 3 days before the game came out, and I haven't touched it. That's so depressing.
All right, thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah.
I'll note that down. So, Luke, what have you been playing?
Oh gosh, what have I been playing? Let me just clear my throat first. Oh, so sorry.
I can always count on you, Luke. Wipe the phlegm off the microphone first before you start talking. I'm kidding. That's fine. It's all good.
I mean, of course you are.
Yes.
So, lately I've been playing Reassembly, obviously. I've been working on my mods. My latest one, the Land Resonance, is coming along quite nicely. I have also been playing a bit of Ashes of the Singularity, which is in Ashes of the Singularity, which is in beta, and it's an RTS, a proper real-time strategy game.
Why does that sound familiar to me?
It might be.
Hold on. I'm closing this or minimizing this for a second. Ashes, is that what it's called? Ashes of Singularity?
Yes, Ashes of the Singularity.
Maybe it was you that was telling me about that. Ashes. Whoops, not ashes. It's on my wish list. So I have actually. Oh, this looks pretty.
Yeah. It's a very nice game. Yes. Unfortunately, I would love to play multiplayer with someone, but I have no one to play multiplayer with.
Is that a hint? Is that a hint? So this is what Luke does. Luke comes onto the stream and then gives everybody a sob story about how he doesn't have any people to play games with, and then of course people on the stream and YouTube are like, "I'll play with you," and he's like, "Thank you." That is great. I'm so glad that this is a good resource for you.
No. This is not the tacticality at all. No.
This looks a lot like Deserts of Karak, actually.
Well, I mean, apparently from what I've heard from people about Homeworld Desert of Character is that, obviously it's well, not obviously, but it's a no way Homeworld game apparently.
Okay. So it's because. So have you played Homeworld, the Deserts of Karak?
No, but I've heard people talk about it. I've heard Total Biscuit talk about it, and people like.
I've heard a little bit of
Culture
that too.
podcast,
Yeah.
So.
This is early access too. Wow.
Indeed, it is. And it shows that in the game, unfortunately. But it's surprisingly quite effectively polished. Oddly.
Interesting. I'll have to look at it, along with all 9,000 other things that I need to look at. Because Conga yells at me. So Conga is one of our moderators. In case you don't know, Conga's always yelling at me for buying games. I buy games like all the time because I can't help myself. I see something that looks great, and then I never play it, and she gets so mad. She starts yelling at me and calling me names. It's terrible. All right, so
Conga.
Thanks, guys. This week I have been playing a lot of RimWorld. So much RimWorld. My eyes, honestly, I think I blew a blood corpuscle in my right eye because I was playing so much RimWorld. Every waking second I have that I'm not doing something for YouTube, I have been playing RimWorld. And it's kind of nice because you can't see that I'm playing RimWorld on Steam, so nobody can harass me. Because I must have accumulated an extra 40 hours of RimWorld this week. And even my wife, the lovely Lisa, has been harassing me too. She's like, "Are you playing that again?" And she likes that game, but she's like, "That's way too much, dude." Anyway, great game. If you have not tried RimWorld, you need to try it. I think the new alpha is coming up too. So anyway, welcome to the show. This is Crash Test Indie. Of course, today we are going to try a variety of different games. I think Patchouli pointed them all out. So we're going to start with the one that I have the least amount of confidence in. And this is called Mega Polis. This is a political campaign. You're running for a campaign, and you can choose between 3 delightful characters: Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Donald Trump. And I don't know if you guys can hear this, but you actually go to different communities and you campaign, and of course you win the hearts and minds of all of these people in these different communities. Once you've earned the trust of everybody in the community starts donating money, and you go and you collect the money, and of course other people have to try and come and steal your community. Actually, the game model is, I'm sorry, I played around with it for 10 minutes and I'm like, it's kind of fun. And all the things, I don't know if you guys can actually hear the voice. I know you guys can't on stream. On the call, on the Skype call. I know Luke and Patchouli cannot hear. They can't hear the game itself. But if you guys can actually hear it in stream or on the YouTube channel, it sounds like Barack Obama. It's all the things he says. And of course, we need to go back. And the reason this really appealed to me, and I'm going to let you guys talk in a second. The reason this really appealed to me is because, of course, I get to play Trump. I'm sorry, America. Worst human being ever. Look at him. He's amazing.
The pay is like flopping around.
I know. Oh, I guess you could. And you can choose whether or not he's Democratic or Republican, of course, because it is a choice, apparently. So yeah, you win states. I'm sorry. It's actually kind of fun. I hate to say it, but it reminds me of some of the, I don't know, in the 90s there was like, I don't know if you guys remember the 90s. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember the 90s, but there was a few games in the 90s. There was one called, I don't even know how to, I guess I can choose. I can't, hold on. I've only messed with the tutorial, but apparently I can't choose a state.
I presume you can only start with 1.
Let's go.
Yeah, maybe it's their home state?
Oh no.
Oh,
Deluks,
yeah.
have you broken the game already?
I think I broke it, guys. Hold on. Because I really want to try this.
Broke America.
But in the 90s, yeah, I broke America. There's a lesson here. If you elect Trump, America won't work. That's the lesson to be learned here. No, in the 90s, there was some games called, I think there was one called Nuclear War, and it had Raygun, except it was spelled Raygun, and they had Gaddafi, and they had I don't remember all the big leaders at the time, and you built nuclear weapons and you nuked each other, and it had this. There was all these, all the animations were like this. It was pretty funny, actually. It was terrible but funny, and that's what this reminds me of. And although it's kind of hokey, there is actually some strategy here. So, at least from what the tutorial sort of, I don't know. Everybody's like, really, this is what we came here for, is this game? But okay, what do you guys think?
There we go. I have absolutely no idea.
Well, this
words
game
cannot-
is a giant pun because you're literally running for elections.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Yeah, I wonder if this is multiplayer. I don't know, but yeah, you just you go and campaign and then you take them over. And then you collect the money and other... okay, this is terrible. It's awful. It's awful! I admit it, it's terrible, but... I don't know. I don't know.
This is almost like a strategy game.
It is like a strategy game. I saw
proportions.
it come up, and we make fun of Trump all the time here, and it's just part of what we do, and this isn't working. I don't even know how this works now. This is not doing what the tutorial told me to do, so I don't know. Okay, we're gonna get out of this. I just wanted to bring it up and let people know it exists, whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, it just
I mean-
looks like one of those games that rides the popularity wave of the current political state of the world.
Oh, yeah!
And yeah, I suppose that once events are over, it will kind of flop.
Oh yeah, nobody will care about
And
this
yeah.
in a year. Oh yeah, no, they'd be like, really, that existed? Whereas, one day I'm going to find this game. It was called Nuclear War, and it was a caricature kind of animation thing, and it was super funny. And there was actually some strategy, and you just nuked each other, and it was great. All you did was build nukes
You
and
know
nuke
what
each other.
other game you could look into? DEFCON. That
DEFCON
is
Oh, DEFCON is
the
wonderful,
same
yeah.
kind of game, but it's more of a serious kind of game.
DEFCON is
Global
actually really
strategy
good.
with nukes and stuff.
But again, it's based on the art style
Cold
from
War.
the Cold War, like the movie War Games. It was like that same kind of vector kind of graphics, and I really
Yeah,
enjoyed that. I thought it was quite good, but you never win, right? The goal was to get the least amount of casualties, I guess. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's basically it. Alright, Gardenarium. Let's
So-
see what this is.
Gardenium. This was recommended to me by the awesome Will as something that you play when you've had a little too much.
Looks funky.
Mode, speech bubbles. Let's go.
Yeah,
Seems interesting.
I really don't know what to expect here. Oh, see, and it didn't work. There we go. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Yeah, I hit the wrong button. Okay, I guess this is as big as the window gets here. So I haven't actually played it. I went in long enough to just take a look and see, but apparently it's really funky. So, like I said, we're getting the really funky ones out of the way. So I guess we're in the clouds and we're falling. Okay, but apparently
Oh, yeah.
you're supposed
Walked
to.
off the clouds.
Yeah. Okay.
Press C for ship mode.
C, E, thought bubbles. No, hold on.
Oh,
Whoa.
going.
Controls. Hold on. Oh, ship mode. Okay, so comma period, steer left and right, and WSD. Okay, so it's all keyboard. Okay, got it. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
can
So
you walk on the purple clouds?
oh, actually, that's a good question. I bet you that's what happened. I'm falling off the clouds here. That's exactly what happened. Okay. So yeah, if you look at some of the, let's just actually go to the store page because probably get a better example of what this is supposed to be. But yeah, it's basically something. If you're really tripping on something, this is yeah. Look at this. It looks crazy. I love the art style actually.
It looks like a game with more focus on the arts and the imagery than on actual gameplay.
I think you're probably right. It reminds me of some of those cartoons in like the 90s that all got banned. Or the 80s, actually. More the 80s type old style, like heavy metal cartoons. I don't know if you remember those. Probably not. Anyway, so hold on. Let's just, like I said, we're getting the weird ones out of the way here. Sorry, Luke.
Indeed. No, it's quite alright.
Okay, so we drank.
I think, Deluxe. I think I'm too old for this. This is hurting my eyes.
Really? Yeah, there's lots
this
of shot.
pink.
Okay, so this is like beer.
think
So we
I'm
drink a
too
beer,
old
and
for this.
every time we drink, something crazy happens. I see.
Yes, this is exactly how it works. Yes.
Okay.
Kids, take
Say
kids,
no
take
to
note. Say no.
Oh, wait.
Ah.
Whoa. All right. At the top of this cloud, there is a portal to the realm of battle. But even if you manage to survive, I'm afraid you may be disappointed. It is impossible for just anyone to gain entry to the depot. I used to be the mistress of an official at the depot. The work they do there is important and highly classified. Really? Okay, so sorry guys, we got to check this out. I mean, we're here now.
Oh no, my internet's dying ever so slightly. Let's see how much stuff I can burn.
Burn it to the ground.
And when I say that, I mean in terms of YouTube tabs. Let's close all this, close this, and this, and this, and all 12 of these, and that. I have far too much open.
You are a tabaholic like I am. I always have like 25 tabs open.
Yes, precisely. That's how I do it.
This is trippy.
It is. Gosh.
Okay, I'm not going to torture everybody with this, but we just gotta get to the top of the mountain, and then we'll move on to the stuff that's actually looking good this week. See, I drank a beer and everything turned yellow. That's not just beer. There's something in that beer. Somebody spiked the beer.
Yes, it did. Oh gosh.
Patchouli's like, I saved an hour for this. What? This? I know you're reevaluating your life. I know.
This kind of game down because I've played these kinds of games before. Namely, what was it? Humaniki and LSD Dream Simulator.
See, yeah.
Those were actually pretty good games in terms of the fact that there's no gameplay as such, and you just look at the imagery, you admire the art, and you try to figure out what the hell is going on in here.
That's exactly it.
So,
like. And,
in its own genre, this game is actually pretty good, I would say. But for people who come to play a game with actual gameplay, I don't think it's going to do anything at all.
Indeed.
No, I agree. This is one of these what you call an experience game, and you sit down with it maybe once.
Pretty much.
And of course, if you've had a couple beer or something, it probably will accent your experience with something like this. However, I do think stuff like this needs to be shown off a little bit, and I don't think it gets enough attention because I like the creativity. That's all I'm here to show off, is just the simple fact that somebody went through a lot of effort to put together something that is unique and different from everything else that we see every day. That's all.
Indeed.
And yeah, that's worth doing.
If nothing else, it might inspire another developer to go, hey, you know what? Not only is Call of Duty worth building, but maybe something else, or Call of Duty with some different ideas included in it. You know, it opens the mind. So it opens the mind. It
like a good beer.
Adds to the overall creativity of the industry. That's all. So that's what I wanted to show off.
I did.
Okay.
And you did?
I did, and now we're leaving. Because you were absolutely right in that it is not something I would normally sit down and play, and it's an experience game. You experience it once, and you've had that experience, so you don't need to have it again. And will I keep this game? Probably not. But I just wanted to show that it's there. Because, I don't know. Anyway. Thank you. Okay, so what's next on the list? What would you guys like to see next? I think we'll save Factorio for last. Okay. Maybe SuperHot for last too as well. So those second last. What about
Life in Bunker next?
Life in Bunker. Okay, so for those of you at home watching, I have already done a preview video on Life in Bunker. And I did it before the release date, and I like it. It looks like it has a whole bunch of potential. Now, I don't know if it's ever going to reach that potential. Let's just see what it's actually selling for, because that I do not know. Let's see here. We're missing the glorious intro here. Woo! So there's the premise of the game. You're sitting on a bench, and an asteroid hits, and then you're dead. That's it. Game over. No.
Wait, so which game is this? Oh, Life in Bunker. Yes.
So Life in Bunker is a game about living inside of an underground bunker after a world-ending cataclysm has occurred.
So Fallout.
It's Fallout, yeah. So this is essentially the Fallout bunker. So this is the experience you might have inside of the bunker during the time of a post-nuclear war or something. And I just want to see what this is worth now that it's released. Have you
Life in Bunker is kind of like Fallout crossed with Dwarf Fortress in in that you don't go and FPS it up with other people running around and NPCs and stuff. You instead build bunker, evolve your colony of people living underground, and it has the same like square map style of building.
Right. Yes. Oh wow. I missed that. So yeah, it's kind of like it's. You're right. It's and it kind of has that RimWorld feel too as well. So like you can dig out this ground in the same way that you would. It's actually been a while since I played this now, so I'm not totally familiar with it. But yeah, so you can actually. And the art style reminds me. It's a little bit old school. The art style. It reminds me a little bit of. Oh, right, the mouse is inverted. That was one thing. I remember the first thing on this game right away is that the mouse is backwards. So when you zoom out, you zoom in, and when you zoom in, you zoom out.
Yeah. I can never get the appeal of that.
So this is not your style of game then, Luke?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean... I mean, in going out and out going in, I can't get the appeal of that, but I can get the appeal of building a massive bunker. That's fun.
Yeah, so the goal being to survive, and I don't remember. Oh, right, yes, yeah. I think I'll come back to this, but I just wanted to basically give. If you guys are interested in looking more into this, it is actually I think worth looking into. The goal is of course to have everybody survive, and there is some dangers in the ground in the form of these monkey ape things or mole things that live underground that will try to beat up your guys. That's right, and you have to
rad roaches.
Yeah. Well, they're mole monkeys or mole men. That's it, mole men. I don't mole monkeys. Where did that come from? I don't know.
I don't.
Yeah, and so yeah, you have to, and you can assign everybody tasks just like you would in RimWorld. So you know, some guys are engineers, some guys are cleaning, some guys are building, some guys are cooks, and of course farmers, and some guys are your scientists. And of course, once everybody's all assigned to doing their job, they will go and they'll dig. Oh, see, there's a mole man right now.
That's pretty quick.
That's pretty quick. And of course, you have to manage all of your resources, such as people, research points. Of course, you research new technologies, get new equipment, etc. And of course, you have to make sure that you're dealing with your garbage, your building materials, of course, to build new objects, your ore, which you convert ore into building materials, your food, and different types of food, and all sorts of crazy disasters. And it's actually quite fun. And I really enjoyed the few hours I spent with it. I can't claim that it would be fun beyond that point, but it was fun for the first few hours. And it is currently going for $17.99 Canadian. So what is that, like $3 in American? I don't know.
It
Hello?
should be like $10.
Yeah, something like that. It's probably 10 or 12 bucks.
And then I shall give the South African equivalent. This is actually a very good stream team.
Isn't it like ducats or something? What are you over there?
What? What are you talking about, Deluks?
I don't know. Was it like nickels? Wooden nickels? What do you guys trade over there?
We
Seashells.
Yes.
Sorry.
You know what? Yes. We trade seashells on
Seashells
the
on the
seashore.
seashore.
No. Gosh darn it. All right, it's 169 rand.
Rand, right? So 169 rand. Yeah. So right for every 10 rand, it's approximately $1 Canadian. Maybe a little bit less.
A little bit more.
A little bit more. That's right. A little bit more. Yeah. So interesting. So I presume, Patchouli, you haven't played Life in Bunker.
I played Life in Bunker, yes. And I am most interested in what updates they've had since then. So could you look at the recent news
for
that game, like announcements?
So what is your opinion of it then?
Well, my opinion is that, yes, for what it has right now, it's a pretty polished game. And it could have its own bunch of appeal because the research system and especially the colonist system where your colonists will get old and old age and you have to clone people to replace them keep your colony going. That's pretty good because obviously you're not going to get any immigrants from above like get in other games.
I mean,
But
So what was your
what
opinion on their choice to do cloning instead of natural reproduction?
indeed, that's a good question.
Well, perhaps they wanted to keep it as a PG game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could have still kept it. Just interesting. I thought that was a really interesting design choice. So, because, of course, I think it was because, my opinion is because it gave you an opportunity to build some more structures to manage that resource of people a little bit easier. But I don't know. I thought it was a really interesting choice.
Yes, downsides that this game had is that I thought it wasn't challenging enough.
Yeah.
In terms of the fact that even that you can find, like average guys could kill them with no weapons, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Did you find, is there any other enemies, or was it just the mole men?
It should be just the moment as it is right now, but
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they added more enemies for
Right.
team release.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. Oh, is it? It's no longer early access. Oh, so it is full release now. Okay, so they did do one hotfix in February. A quick update, some tiny bugs. Yeah, but it doesn't look like they've actually made any big improvements or changes for the actual release.
That
So-
is strange.
It is strange. I'm actually, I thought it was, I felt like it was an early access game, that it needed to be early access, I think, for a while to maybe work out a few things. But I don't know. It's for the $15 or whatever it is, American. I don't know if you've got, there are other things I would say that maybe you might want to spend your money on first, but I don't know. It seems okay. If you're interested more in it, go check out my video on the YouTube channel. I did do a preview video, and there's a few good ones out there too as well. So, yeah. Okay.
Deluxe, very quickly, how much is this for you again? How much is this game for you again?
$17.99.
Okay. Deluxe, how much food could you buy for $17.99?
In Canada, not very much. That's like
Well.
4 bags of apples, maybe.
That's quite a lot of apples. Though.
Okay, well,
Like 4 bags of apples.
Well, I guess. Well, okay, so a bag being 4 apples, right? So maybe a dozen apples. That's, I mean, because
That's 16.
yeah, dozen big apples.
Well,
so I don't know.
yeah.
If that's good, I don't know.
I mean, I would call that good. So I want to know this because last night I went out to a restaurant, and I got a big, like a massive bowl of pasta, lovely, delicious stuff with some bacon, and that was about 120 rand. And I ate and I couldn't eat anymore, and it was lovely. And I went home and I took the rest in a doggy bag, or whatever the word. What I don't know. What do you call?
Yeah, doggy bag.
Just some leftovers, and I took it home and I eat it. You know what? Money well spent.
So that would be like $14-15 Canadian, which is for $14-15 you can get a pretty decent meal, I think. Depending on where you go, of course, but I mean, I don't know. For $14-15
currency rates.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. So, but I don't know. The thing that's funny about Canada is that whereas in the States you can go and get a hamburger for like $1. You can go to a fast food place and get a hamburger for $1. And it costs you like $2 for an apple, in the States. Whereas in Canada,
It's kind of bizarre.
yeah, in Canada, even the fast food's expensive. So like here, it's like for the same $1 hamburger is like $2.50 in Canada, or more. And so you're almost better off just eating healthier in Canada. But that's my opinion. I don't know. And food's expensive here. It's just because we ship it. It's really expensive. So. On to Tales of Maj'Eyal. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Now, this was actually, the developer actually sent me a note about a month ago and actually gave me a copy of the game, the original game. And this came out in December of 2012, so it's actually been around for a while. This is a roguelike game. Now, just recently, this last week, they have released an add-on to this game, which I thought was really cool. And, of course, it's been done before, but you get to play, this is a top-down roguelike in the same kind of art style as, like, the Keeper RL, if you're familiar with my channel, and of course there's animations for spells and stuff, but really you don't really see too many changes in your character. Like, it's not like this full 3D or anything. This is top down, old school RPG. Tons of content from building your own spells to crafting your own weapons and armor and items, and it's all sort of semi-online. You've got the community. You can see what's going on in the community, playing the game too as well. You can see people getting up levels. It kind of reminds me of the old school MUDs. like the multi-user dungeons, except with that looks prettier than the old MUDs, because it's kind of semi-online too as well. Now, what was really interesting with this add-on that just came out this week called Embers Rage is that you get to play as a variety of different classifications of orc and in rebuilding the orcish kingdoms. And I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I'm not showcasing this game because they sent me a copy. I'm aware of it because they sent me a copy. And I probably wouldn't have given it a second look had I not received that from them. So just to let you know that where I'm at, like nobody's given me anything beyond that. But we're going to go into it because I think it's worth looking into. If you like this kind of stuff, and I really, really, really do, I always have. It's like I said, it reminds me of if you were to play, just to compare it to something that I actually do on my channel, if you're compare it to Keeper RL and playing the single player, just regular exploration roguelike in Keeper RL, that's kind of what I compare it to, except with so much content. Sorry.
Sounds good.
I know I'm just babbling, but just it's
fine. Babble on.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
So yeah, if you've ever seen the Keeper RL in my channel, where you just you basically just move towards your enemy and bump them, of course that's when all the actions happen, and there's tons of stats and numbers happening in the background, and you can watch all of this happen. But what I thought was really so the spells are actually quite interesting, and unlike Keeper RL, like they've done a little bit of work on that, and the soundtrack's quite good. But I thought playing as an orc and rebuilding the orcish kingdom as one of these, you would be more typically an evil character, right? Or the bad guy in the game, right? Patchouli, you've played this before, have you not?
No, I have not played this before, but I played a pretty similar game called Elona, which is actually a Japanese roguelike and translated to English. Not many people have heard of it, but the premise is pretty much the same in that you have this whole top-down game with lots of spells and equipment and classes and stuff.
Right.
And I was actually considering playing this, but have not gotten around to playing it.
It looks really good, and like I said, I've gone into it briefly. Now, here's another thing I wanted to point out. So, as you play the game, and in the game, you find certain people and objects that you talk to, and you do accomplish certain tasks, and it opens up all of the different classes in the game. So you start off with for the Embers of Rage, specifically the orc side. You start off with you can only be a warrior, and there's different classes of warrior, except for one that's locked. And then the rest of there must be like 50 classes here, or 20 classes here at least. That are all locked, that get unlocked during the game. So you'll run into a stranger in the game, and he has this object, and he gives you this object, and all of a sudden you have access to a mage, or a certain classification of mage, which is really, really cool. I love that kind of depth, right? And of course, like I was saying, there's also the Tinker class where you can actually build objects and have guns, and I don't know, it's really cool. So we'll just go into it briefly. And then there's a whole skill class system where, of course, you can manage, as you move up in levels, you adjust your stats, like in strength, dexterity, constitution, all that kind of regular D&D stuff. It reminds me of the old school D&D. Like even the old school D&D games where, of course, you got better at certain skills and, of course, moved up in skill points and all that kind of stuff, too. I don't know, it's cool. And then, of course, there's things like inscriptions, which are permanent little traits that you can earn for your character that you can swap out with other ones, and then prodigies, which I think are sort of the same kind of thing. These are talents that you get over time, or find objects that give you talents and stuff. So really neat. Let's go into the actual game here. Yes. And there is a little bit of reading, so when you get into something like this, of course, because there's imagination involved. And you start off as a big battle and you're fighting these big knights. Oh, I think I died already. Did I die? I'm not even sure. I think I died already. Oh no, weird, I don't know what happened there. But yeah, so, and of course, I'm not really playing very well here. I could be managing my spells and skills and all that kind of stuff. But I think if you're interested in the top-down rogue-lite or rogue-like type genres, this is definitely something you need to look into, and of course playing it from the aspect of the evil kingdom of orcs and rebuilding the orcish kingdom. Really, there's something to be said, and you can actually see his 2 little guns there. And of course, if we go into his inventory, you can manage. It's actually quite good. It's quite good. Highly recommend it. Luke, is this the kind of thing you ever touch, Luke?
Yes, it actually would be. Yeah, I would actually like to have a look at this. I'd actually like to have a play.
And so would I, because you know how in Dwarf Fortress there is an adventure mode?
Yes, that's exactly
Which
what I'm
is
talking about.
not really fleshed very well, because you can only pretty much play as a fighter and there's no magic. But on the other hand, you could mod Dwarf Fortress so that your building mode, like where you build your own fortress and stuff, that you would have not dwarf another race.
Right.
And you could play as like goblins or elves or whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
And like roleplay that scenario as if you're building the kingdom and stuff. And what is really remarkable about this game is it claims that it does both.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious to see how it would do.
Yeah, so, and the price is right. Of course, with a lot of these roguelikes, they're really, in my opinion, pretty inexpensive. $7.79, so that's probably like $5 American. And what, $6 rand? Or 600 rand, I mean? 600 rand approximately?
It's
seashells? 600
okay.
Seashells?
It is, okay, well, Tales of Maj'Eyal is 76 rand. And if I can go back to Embers.
76. Okay, that's different.
Yeah, and then Embers of Rage is 76 rand again. So it's 76 plus 76, 152.
Yeah, so you can buy the whole thing, of course, here with all of the different add-ons and everything right away. And I really recommend playing, just briefly, I just want to, no, well, I won't go into it again, but the original game, because the original game was built in December of 2012, but the original game has tons of classes, tons, and the story, and so many people are pointing out here, yes, it's kind of semi-multiplayer, this multiplayer stuff going on. There's people that, I'm not sure exactly how all of that works, and I can pretty much guarantee you that I'm going to get more into this, maybe do a series on it, and I mean that sincerely about this one, because it looks that good. But
I'm going to take a wild guess here, and the multiplayer probably works indirectly. As in, you could see the other adventurous names in places like taverns and stuff.
Yes.
And notice boards, because that's how they did it in Ilona.
Okay. Yeah, I love it. Did you guys ever play a game called Legends of Kesme?
No, I didn't, unfortunately.
No.
It was another one, probably 90s, mid-90s, and it was kind of this top-down thing, and it was multiplayer, and you build. It was really good. I guess if you guys have never played it, I really can't explain it, but it was kind of like this, except you could actually play with other players or be killed by other players, and in that top-down world, and just oodles and oodles and oodles of stats on characters. It was amazing. But anyway, I digress. Let's move on. I
digress.
But I digress. Okay, so next on the list. Let's see here. Where's my list? I lost my list. Okay, what's on the list, guys? Shall we move on?
Factorio.
Patchouli.
Factorio is next.
Factorio. Okay, so Factorio,
Wait. Weren't we saving Factorio for last?
I think, yeah, we'll save Factorio for last, because that's probably the one we're going to spend the most time with, because I want people to be aware of it and not to be as afraid of it as some people are. So let's move on to the most popular one that seems to be on Steam right now, which is SuperHot. Let's see if I can find it. SuperHot. I've never played it, but apparently everybody else in the world has.
Super hot.
Don't worry, you're not alone, because I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
Super hot. Super hot. Like, seriously, get used to that.
Okay, I thought you were just doing a thing, so I was just waiting.
Oh no, it happens in the game.
I was really enjoying it,
that's
actually.
That's the thing I'm most curious about. Did they keep this guy that keeps saying that every time you die?
Is that what happens? Okay, I've never played this, but apparently a lot of people have, and they've said it's really great. So hold on, I'm just waiting for it to start here. This might use.
Need to buy SuperHot. Gosh darn it, I need to buy SuperHot now.
I need to record you saying super hot over and over and over because that's super funny. Okay, so yeah, this is the options menu to start, which is really interesting. I was really confused when I was looking at this earlier. I'm like, what is this? You know what this reminded me of? This reminded me of Pony Island. Have you guys seen the new game Pony Island?
I haven't gone near that.
Yeah, it's creepy and weird, and it breaks, and you have to fix it and stuff. But it's really weird. But anyway, it reminded me of that.
Yes,
Count me in. I'm gonna note it down.
Sorry, go ahead, Patchouli.
No, Deluks said it's creepy and weird, and at that very moment, I thought, I have to see this.
Okay, can I just let my moderators know that they need to stop spamming chat, or I'm going to have to get new, better moderators to remove them. Seriously?
Yes, I will remove them. I am your best.
Jeez.
Super.
The moderators are not supposed to be spamming chat. What's going on? Anyway, a lot of people are really excited to see this. I think
I can't time any of them out because I'm not the owner of the channel.
Yeah.
Can't do anything.
Yes. So yeah, but everybody's been really freaking out about this game. Like as soon as I said, I mean, I think I was starting to get messages like immediately after the last show about how I need to do super hot. So apparently this is a first-person shooter that when you're not moving, things start to go in slow motion. You can see that kind of happening here right now. But when you're moving, things move in real time.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Time only moves when you do. Oh, so could I actually watch the oh, we need some audio here. Where's the audio? Hold on one sec. I know you guys on the
There is very little audio.
Is there?
There is no. Yeah, there's like no music.
So you've played this before?
I've watched people play it.
Okay.
It's much so. Which is why I was saying that I need to buy SuperHot. It's like, yes, I need to buy SuperHot.
And this one, it's worth a lot of money though. It's like $31 or something. I don't remember. It was really expensive, surprisingly expensive.
It's 242 rand, and it's 10% off. That's good.
Okay, so there is audio, but it's very light. Very light. Okay, so as long as you're not moving, nothing happens. But as soon as you start to... Oh, cool! So you can, like... This reminds me a little bit of The Matrix.
I was about to say that. You can basically be Neo. You can be the chosen one.
Oh, but...
Yes, there's also Max Payne, the game that had slow-mo mechanic as well.
Oh, this is amazing! Super hot!
Yes.
I'm getting it.
And there we have it.
And then it gives you a little replay of what you did.
So
it's
F5
great.
to... Okay. Press F5
Click.
again to fully upload... To replay kill cams? What? Okay, I see. So you can...
Or you can just left click. You can also just left click to just continue. Before this. When it's going all super hot, you can just left click and it'll... Yeah.
Okay. Did I... So is that it? What? Hold on. Oh, so grab the gun. Okay. Left click to pick up weapons. Okay, got it. But wouldn't this be kind of an easy game? Is this multiplayer? I don't think so.
No, it's not multiplayer, but eventually it gets just harder and harder because you have to do stuff like in like superhero action movies where you fight like five guys at once, and the guns have limited ammo, and you run out of ammo, and you have to melee and shoot at the same time.
Oh, is there ammo too?
Yeah,
ammo would make this interesting for sure.
You're about to run out. I mean, not now, but like you'll run out of ammo sooner or later.
That's amazing. It's super neat. I love the idea, but there's like 2,000 positive reviews on this.
People love it.
Yeah. So is it all scripted like this? Oh, whoops! Right in the head too. Okay.
Yeah, the levels are scripted, but there are also like infinite survival levels, which have enemies appearing at random locations with random guns, which you can replay as much as you want.
Okay, so there is random levels. Okay, so that's really important. This would be it would be really cool to play multiplayer. Like, I don't know if that's possible, but I mean, like, think about it. Like, so you and a buddy, every time either you or your buddy moves, everything starts moving again. So you kind of got to work together. That would be really cool.
That actually would that would be a very neat idea.
Yeah, like, oh shoot.
Yeah, that would be
How did you
great.
dot? Okay.
So like you like you'd have to think about really carefully because and be really communicate really well so that
Yeah,
Oh,
it
jeez,
eventually
okay.
turns into a game of strategic positioning and movement.
that would be super cool. I think the reason this is probably so popular is because of movies like Matrix and stuff like that because it really does give you that feeling, right?
Yeah, and you get to basically be a superhero.
Yeah, or
Time-stopping powers.
do you guys? I talk about this every once in a while. Do you guys have you guys ever seen a movie called Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins?
No,
Nope.
I have not. It
Okay.
sounds intriguing though.
It was supposed to be. I think they had intended this movie was going to end up being this big superhero kind of series where this guy he goes and he gets trained by some Chinese, super amazing. Master warrior guy, and he learns how to basically dodge bullets and stuff. It reminds me of that other movie that came out not that long ago, and it was really cool. And the way he dodged bullets was almost Matrix style, but he'd do it in real time. It was really cool. It was neat. And the concept was that you can hear the tendons in the hand as they press upon the trigger and stuff. Then he would be so fast that he could move out of the way. It was really cool. So this is neat. It reminds me of that too. But of course, more Matrix and Superman. Well, not Superman, more Flash. Flash. That's what it reminds me of. Flash.
Ah, the Flash. Of
Yes.
course. Oh, the Flash.
Oh, he's like shooting, like, oh, brutal. Oh, right in the head too.
It said press right click to throw your weapon.
Oh,
So
you can
that's what
throw
we
your
have
weapon
to do.
and then punch him.
Yeah. Take
Oh,
his
that's
gun.
amazing.
You can punch him anyway.
Oh, that's amazing. But my gun's gone.
But he dropped his gun.
Oh,
so
did he?
Could...
Yeah, you could have picked
and
up
it's
his.
done.
Oh, can I have two guns? No.
No.
Only have one. Sorry.
Sorry.
Deluks.
Sorry.
My
There goes his arm. I
apologies.
shot off his arm. Maybe. This is actually. Oh, look! I just got an achievement. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. Oh no, they didn't. This is super fun. I could totally lose some time in this for sure. I'm probably spending way too much time in this already, considering this is.
No, it's
I'm
fine.
trying to keep this show like an hour, but. Uh-oh. Look at him. I want to punch them all though. Oh, I've got no ammo. Okay, so that's fine.
So you can right click and you can throw the gun at him.
Okay. How far can I throw that gun?
I actually-
No! But there is another
Pretty
gun
sure
here.
I'm pretty sure it literally just goes straight, laterally. Just goes.
Shoot him
I
in
don't
the
think-
shoulder. Watch this.
I
Yeah.
don't think physics cares too much.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. This is super
Sniper
fun.
tactics.
This is actually really fun. I really
Super.
like this. Super hot.
super
Is that what it's saying?
hot.
Like,
It is,
Is there
yeah.
voice? Oh, okay. I really want to turn up. I want to turn up the volume on this just a little bit. And
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
should.
I know I'm spending a lot of time with this, but
It's alright, Deluxe. It's alright.
If you didn't,
Gosh, I
people would
feel-
then
I feel-
complain that you haven't spent enough time on this.
okay.
Yeah. Gosh, I feel
Because
real out
no
of it
type
today.
and all.
Luke, you sound great though. And you look delightful.
Look, you can't see me. What are you talking about?
Oh.
You madman.
Oh, I can grab his gun in the air. Amazing.
Yes, it's so. And
Oh,
you- you lit-
amazing.
You can literally punch him, grab his gun, and shoot the other guy. It's
Oh,
brilliant. That's why I
amazing!
love this
Oh,
game.
that was awesome! Oh my god, I just doubled them! And they shatter like glass!
Yeah, so good.
Oh my god!
It's so hot. Isn't it?
Okay, I'm out of guns. And out of time. Whoa!
Punch them.
Oh, they got me. Alright.
Punch them, don't get shot.
Okay, one more time. Oh, shoot. I wasn't paying attention. R to restart. So, yeah, anyway, we are going to move on here. I'm just getting preoccupied with this for some reason.
For some unknown reason. Perhaps the game is good.
Is
Perhaps that is the reason.
But you know what? I would never, ever, 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 ever would I buy something like this based on what I saw on the screen, like on the Steam store, because this is definitely not something that looks like something I would enjoy just by looking at even the
Yep,
in the.
It's a very minimalistic game in its graphics design.
And it's not because it's minimalistic. It's because it looks like just a generic first-person shooter. Unless you read it, it looks like a generic first-person shooter. Uh-oh.
Actually, yeah, I have to really agree with you there. their trailers do not do justice to the fact that the game actually pauses as you go. You know, the trailers are very, you know, yeah. I mean, as you say, they look like a generic shooter. It's going, and they don't actually show the fact that you can just stop and everything stops.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't actually stop. It actually goes in just really slow motion.
Yeah. There's Sorry,
go on.
Yep. Sorry, my words. I don't know what's wrong with me today, but my words aren't working and my mind isn't working either. What is this saying?
It said a bunch of stuff. Look at this. Thank you, Purple Electric Tiger, for giving me 1,000 messages. I'm sure that's
Gosh. Pretty much.
I'm sure he's glad that you finally noticed his valiant efforts.
Wow. Thanks, Purple Electric Tiger.
I wouldn't call it valiant. I would call it insane. Oh, SuperHot.
SuperHot. No, it's super.
I actually, you know what, Blue Wind? I actually would like some food. That's actually not a bad plan. We are actually having a brie tonight, so you know me.
Oh, what are you having? A brie? Like a brie? Isn't that
brie?
A brie?
A brie.
Is a brie or a brie? Is that a? What is that? What is that? What is a brie?
It's a cookout.
Hey there, Rimworld.
Oh, wrong one. See, I can't help myself. Good lord. And now we're going to talk about RimWorld, because that's all I do, is play hours and hours and hours of RimWorld. I did it again. I just hit it again, guys. Hold on. I'm seriously having some issues. I'm just going to play RimWorld while we talk about video games. Wow. Okay. Anyway, sorry, go on. A brie.
Yes. So, Rob, I mean, you live in Canada. I highly doubt you go outside to cook food on a fire.
It's not.
You know?
It's not a frozen wasteland. You know. We have barbecues. It's actually warm enough to be outside with shorts right now.
I can imagine.
I think it was Admiral von Schneider in chat. Earlier today, he was saying it was 15 degrees and in Celsius. Like, I'm sorry, I'm outside. I'm hanging out outside with people.
Sounds good. Yeah, but I mean.
So it's not you know it's not like all frozen wasteland like.
You know what Ross? I mean, you know what, Rob? You knew nothing about South Africa. I knew nothing about Canada. It's fine. We're on even ground.
Well, I think one time we were talking and I said, "Do you like live in a jungle or is it like pure desert?
Yes.
Is there like have you ever seen a McDonald's? Do you like know about these things? Like, you know they exist, right?" And you laughed at me and said I'm an idiot or something. I don't remember.
I never said you're an idiot. I would never be that. I would never be that deprecating, please.
Factorio.
So
I was expecting more laughter at the end of that. Gosh.
It was amazing. So, yes, this is Factorio. If you've been living in a box somewhere in some foreign country like South Africa with just jungle and lions and stuff like that, and not lions yes. And lots of lions and zebras and giraffes, because that's Luke's world. That's where he lives.
Yes.
And
also, yes, we have no roads. We all live in mud huts, and my internet is actually carried over wires made out of animal bone.
And it's carried by monkeys.
Yes, actually.
The transmission's actually carried by monkeys, actual monkeys.
Yes. Did you actually know our government is run by monkeys? That's actually a very topical statement.
I don't know. I think you mentioned that once. There's some political issues down in that area of the world. I think there has been for a very long time. If I'm not
guys, we already
not
have
for a long
case
time.
of
Only for the last 8 years.
On a Factorio stream.
We already have what?
We already have a case of saying it's inefficient on a Factorio stream.
Of course it's inefficient. This was like my very first playthrough, actually, that I did on YouTube. We'll actually go to the very last one that I did on YouTube, and of course it's inefficient. But I just want to stress, and this is like a huge, major, ultimate shout out to the team that have designed Factorio over the last, I think, 5 years. They've sold about 120,000 copies of this. And if they don't sell 1 million copies, I'm going to be surprised and upset. And it's only because people may look at this and go, "Oh, this is really intimidating and I don't get it." But trust me, you play this for give it 3, 4, 5 hours, watch a couple YouTube videos. This will be probably the most interesting and fun experience you'll ever have. It is so cool. And what happens...
And it's actually based on real-world sciences as well, because there's a discipline called production line optimization, which this game basically is all about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. And, maybe we'll start a brand new game, and we'll just briefly show a little bit to those folks at home who are, maybe you're like 10 years old and you're like, oh, that looks way too complex, and it's not as pretty as, like, SuperHot. But let's just go to
Speaking of SuperHot, I just purchased it. So.
Oh, you just purchased it?
There it goes.
You've seen it before, right, Luke? Of course you have. Of course you've seen it. Yes. Okay. So a couple of really good starts here. So, so you may look at this graphic style, and trust me, believe it or not, when you look at this, Factorio has improved so much. Once upon a time, these trees looked like, I don't know, a big pile of garbage. And I'm not saying that to put down the developers. I'm saying what has improved here is so incredible. And on top of that, as time goes on and you start to build up pollution in your little factory, the trees around the area start to degrade and look as though they've been, running, you can tell that there's coal, mists of coal waving over top of them, and they start to look old and decrepit, and the environment changes. It's so awesome. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't want to play just a strategy game that, has no combat or anything, this has a full array of combat. Now, it's not generally the focus of Factorio is to focus on the combat. The focus of Factorio is to try to prevent from getting destroyed by these creatures called biters, which inhabit this world that you're trying to basically colonize. And yeah, but there is combat too as well, and although not terribly interesting, kind of old school, reminds me of old Westwood RTS combat, but yeah, I just wanted to show that there is combat.
Yep.
But
you have been defeated.
I have been defeated.
GG.
Good game. Okay, good game. Let's just go back in here. But on top of it, if you are looking at this and going, it looks really intimidating, there is also a campaign that walks you through the basics on this. So if you don't like YouTube, if you don't like listening to idiots like me talk and explain things, and there must be 10,000 videos of Factorio on YouTube. It's the only reason why I didn't jump on doing a brand new series is because there's so many great YouTubers that do this game and do it so well, that have had so much more experience. But if you're not interested in that, there is actually sorry, I know I'm talking. Go ahead.
That's okay. Deluks, I just wanted to say yes, but there is only one Rob. Drop the mic, Walker, and I just walked out of the room.
Thud. End of stream. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But I have a healthy respect, and I learned how to play Factorio watching Roomba. And what's funny is if you go back through my videos, actually, if you go to Root Negative, and I'm not specifically trying to do a shout out for Root Negative, but I come back to that with Factorio. He's probably got some of the best videos I've seen on Factorio, but not a lot of subscribers, and I don't know why, but I don't know. So actually, what he used to do is do Factorio Fix-Its, which is you'd have a factory, and you would send him your factory, and he would do a show where he fixes your factory. And he within the first 5 minutes of looking at my factory, he goes, "Oh, you must have learned how to play this from a Roomba." Because everybody has a very distinct and unique way of playing this. And I did learn from a Roomba. Now I've adapted way since then. Like, I do things way different than I used to. But my first factories looked like a Roomba's factories. They did. That's where I learned. But yeah, if you're interested in learning this game, it walks you through every single step. It tells you can always find the current objective in this window tab, and then hit tab. Perfect, right? And it'll walk you through step by step by step by step. It'll take about 2-3 hours to really get a grasp on what you're doing. WASD key to move. So this is probably the most basic tutorial you've ever seen, and trust me, it just takes all that intimidation away, right? So anyway,
I believe it is also worth mentioning that once you get through the campaign that teaches you all this stuff, you could also generate your own maps for a single player, which you could play in literally any way you want. The game features a really extensive set of settings for the map generator.
It sure does.
And you could customize it to be more combat oriented, to the point where you're literally fighting for your life every minute, trying not to attract the attention of hostile fauna. Or you could adjust it to be a pure builder and have no enemies and build whatever you want.
So you can set it as enemies never attack first. Now, here's the thing. In the game, the enemies actually serve a purpose, and that they contain these alien artifact thingies that you need to build some of the stuff later on. But you can absolutely set it as enemies never attack. And I'm really glad you brought this up, because on top of that as well, there is a massive modding community that makes some of the most amazing mods for this game, and it pretty much converts it into a brand new game with every single mod. It's incredible. And if you think that Factorio doesn't have enough stuff, and trust me, there is, you could spend weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and probably never see everything. But if you don't think Factorio has enough, there's mods that add probably 20 times the amount to the library that's already in Factorio of stuff that you can build and manufacture. It's crazy. So was that a pretty over-the-top, gratuitous shout-out to Factorio?
I mean, I think
it deserves
as
it.
gratuitous as Factorio is, it is well deserved, actually.
It really is. And again, let's take a look at the price. This is now on Steam. This isn't the Steam version. This is because I bought this like way back when it was a little tiny. I mean, I guess it was never really tiny, but let's just take a look and see what it's worth, because I actually don't have it on Steam, and I don't know if we get, as an owner of the original Factorio, I don't know if I actually get a Steam key. I assume I do. I just haven't looked. But let's just take a look at the page here.
Factorio, overwhelmingly positive. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like I said,
Pretty much.
Yeah, 1508, but still, I mean, and it's been out since the 25th. So a few days, and it's only going to get bigger. And it's still in early access. I don't know if this game could ever actually get out of early access. But what's great about it being in Steam now is that all these mods that I was talking about that were a bit of a pain to set up. Well, if you don't know a lot about managing files and stuff, they can be a bit of a pain to set up. Now with it going into Steam, of course, they're going to have the workshop set up, and it's going to be super easy to just plug in whatever mod, just like every other game. So that is amazing. Yeah, lots and lots of positive feedback. Arrive on strange new land, kill population, build on their land. 10 out of 10. Best European simulator. Thank you, Welshman. Absolutely amazing.
And there are also trains.
And there's also trains. There's not enough time to even go through all the stuff that's... oh, right. I want to look at the price. $25. That seems steep, but trust me, it's worth every penny. If you're talking about how much money you're going to spend per hour, or how much time you're going to get out of, or if you're talking about dollars per hour spent in a game, I have probably, and I think I spent maybe, approximately, I think it was 25. I probably, maybe a cent an hour. I mean, I've spent so much time with it already. I mean, the time I spent on YouTube is a fraction of what I've actually played alone.
Yeah. Okay, so Rob, Will wants me to read out something.
Okay.
He's begging me. All right, so straw poll, SuperHot guy versus a guy with a maxed out Factorio factory. Who wins?
You mean a guy that's made out of glass that's all red? Sorry, Factorio is going to win. In any question where Factorio is part of
Factorio guy.
Yeah,
all right,
sorry.
I vote for Factorio guy.
Yeah, SuperHot is $31, and it does look really fun. But there's going to come a time where you're like, okay, I've shot all the guys made out of glass, and there's really not that much left for me here. Whereas Factorio, I don't know if you'd ever actually get to a point where you've tried everything. The scale is just unbelievable. So
indeed, Factorio, wonderfulness. Also,
not that you can really compare those two things. Anyway, guys, so let's wrap this up, and let's go through the list of things that we looked at today, and I want your opinion. So let's first off start off with Mega Polis.
Also, sorry, Rob. I was interrupted by the ladies of the house. Apparently, food is ready.
Oh well, go enjoy your meal then.
No, it's quite all right. I'll stay here for a couple more minutes.
Okay, we're just gonna go through what we've looked at today, and then you can give sort of a rating, 1 out of Z.
10.
So first off, Mega.
Why do we never just say 1 out of 10?
Yeah,
Do we
one,
not
one
wanna
out
be
of one out of beta. So Mega Polis, what do you think, guys?
It's an election game. It's based on the current trends. For the effort in graphics, I'll give it like a 5.
Really? Really? You're quite generous. Are you talking on a scale of 10 or 5?
On a scale of 10.
Okay.
Because the graphics and the effort put into it are literally the best things about it. Nothing else is good.
Luke, what do you think?
Yeah, the graphics are hilariously amazing, and yeah, just just watching Trump going, just doing all those motions. It is hilarious, but please don't waste your money.
You know, okay, so if this was $3, I'd say buy it. You know what?
I'd say so.
Honestly, I'm going to play this, guys. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to play this. I'm not going to do it on YouTube or anything. I'm just curious. I'm just because I don't know. I have a secret passion for politics. I just like politics. You probably guessed that already. But the art style I think is really charming. I think maybe there's a game hidden under here. I don't know. I haven't played it that much, but I'm actually going to play it. The problem I have with it, like a lot of these little games that look kind of fun that you might play for a few hours, is that it's $13.49 in Canadian, and that's like $10 American. That's so expensive for what it is. And like you said, a year from now, nobody's gonna give a crap. Like even if they add new pundits in here, like it doesn't matter.
I'll have to go buy Factorio.
For spend twice that, get Factorio, and you're gonna get years of enjoyment. Indeed. Okay. So next up is Garden something. What is it? Gardenia? Gardenium. Gardenarium.
Do we even need to rate?
No, we don't need to rate it. I like I said, the only reason I wanted to bring it up is to make sure.
I don't think it's a game that could really be rated in comparison to other games because it's unique in its own genre.
Yes.
And
it gets
not one of a kind.
It's 10 out of 10.
It has its own genre. And that's
10 out of 10 for being trippy.
Yeah. Yes, 10 out of 10 for trippiness.
And it's probably $1 more expensive than it should be, but I mean it's close. It's closer than the Megapolis price. Here it's $4.11 Canadian.
Deluks, are your Facebook notifications supposed to be popping up right now?
No, I don't even know how to turn that off. I'm an idiot. So
why do you even have them on? Why?
I don't know. I don't know. It's because Chrome has this built-in Facebook thing where it constantly keeps you updated, and I don't care. But anyway, I know you can turn it off. I just
surely you can uninstall that add-on.
I'm sure I can. I just haven't done that yet. But thank you. I will definitely get on that.
No problem.
Okay.
Anytime.
Next we have Taj.
Wait,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, on a scale of 1 to Sekerda, I give it a Vusna Kratisei.
You know what? I second that and add a. What the hell are you talking about with that?
Yes. Excellent.
Tales of Maj'Eyal. What do you think, guys?
I think that it should be recommended to people because you know how there's this whole genre of big, huge roguelike games with tons of content that you could play for hours on end, and people are really afraid to go into them because they're scared by this amount of stuff and the lack of that really explain them. And Tales of Maj'Eyal really provides a good entry point into that genre, because you could pretty much see what's going on and understand what's going on by looking at the screen and not at the text.
Yeah. You know, I think that would be my only criticism of this game is that in my experience going into it, and I have gone into it a couple times, there isn't enough there there is a tutorial, but it takes you through a very small portion of the game itself. And it doesn't really prepare you for the actual game when you walk into it. And there's just too much. I mean, even in the sense of there's too much to learn to build a good character. It'll take many replays, many times of going in and trying over and over and over and over and over before you actually start to get a good grasp on what you're doing. And I more than anything, I'd say that was my only criticism, and I have to give it a criticism for that, because it is the only thing stopping me from sitting there and just jumping in over and over and over, is because I feel like it's just going to take a long time to get to where I need to be to enjoy it to its fullest.
Indeed. But then again, we have to understand that even having these kinds of graphics and having a tutorial whatsoever is a big step for roguelike genre of
for
these
sure.
games.
For sure. I think a lot of roguelikes are designed to keep normal people
Yeah,
out.
for example, NetHacks and like Ilona and other such games, they just throw you in there.
Yeah.
Like, go, have fun. Have fun dying until you figure out what's wrong with it.
It speaks to the nature of the genre as a whole. I mean, the genre is designed, the indie teams, they want to spend all their time building good, juicy, rich, overwhelmingly awesome content, and don't want to have to worry about all the fluff like tutorials and you know, making things extra pretty and stuff like that. And I get that. So, but if I was to recommend any roguelike right now, this is it. This is it.
Definitely.
Luke, what do you think?
You know what? I agree.
See you, Lightning JC1.
Lightning JC, what? Deluks Gaming. See ya, Lightning. Have a good one, man.
Bye, Lightning. Bye, Lightning. Goodbye, soldier. I salute you.
Okay, so one out of Omega. What do you think?
Omicron.
That's great. We're not in any position to rate these titles because we haven't actually played them, but except for a few, like Factorio. Factorio I have played heavily. Life in Bunker. Let's just a quick thought on that, because of course I have a video on this as well. Any quick thoughts on Life in Bunker? My first opinion. Oh, go ahead, please.
No, go.
My first opinion is that I'm a little disappointed that it went straight out of early access. I'm glad that it's actually, I mean, there's a lot of early access, and early access upsets people, and you really, a lot of developers would say, and other people would say, that you only get one release day, whether it's early access or not. You get one release day. Anything else is kind of secondary. Nobody really cares. A lot of people don't care when you go from early access to version 1. So I can kind of understand why a game they would try, and there's a few games actually that have gone straight to full release. However, I still think that this game maybe needed a little bit more time to cook.
Yes, I would like to second that opinion,
Yeah.
but I would like to counterbalance it a bit with the example of Planet Base, which is in the same genre of colony building.
Yeah.
And it has gone like straight to release, and it's still being very actively updated. The developers are almost constantly online with their players, and they're adding stuff that we have been suggesting. So it's early to write off the potential of the game after it has released past early alpha.
I agree. In no way was I trying to write it off. In no way. I just
Yeah,
thought,
sure.
I
I'm just pointing
felt
that
that.
out.
Yeah, I agree. I just felt from playing it, I just felt like it needed a little bit more. Like,
Definitely, it needs more polish.
yeah, and maybe that'll come in time. Maybe that is their strategy, just like some of these other games, is that they're going to continue to work on it and improve it based on the community's feedback. So,
Pretty much. Good luck to them.
yeah,
Devs.
absolutely.
Indeed.
Luke, any comments?
No, I mean I've never played this, and I've only ever seen, and I've only been able to see what you've shown. You haven't shown that much, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't draw a conclusive decision. So
You know, it's
Because you're hungry.
one of the things
I'm also hungry. Yes.
Well, you're also hungry, and I'm sorry. I know I'm keeping you, but one of the things
No,
I will
it's
also
fine.
say is that it's kind of that in between in terms of, you know, it's not quite have the detail. It doesn't have nearly the detail of RimWorld, and it's not as pretty as some of the other types of games on the other end of the spectrum. So, and it's kind of sort of stuck in the middle. It's not this really detailed roguelike. No, I don't. That's the wrong word. But you know, it's not this really detailed statistic type game, and it's not this really pretty visual feeling. You know, we're in the bunker, and it's so it doesn't really have that feeling either. It's sort of stuck in the middle, and I don't know where to place it in that genre. And I think that's probably one of the things that bothers me about it too. And it's not that I dislike it, and it's kind of fun, and it looks like it has potential, but it doesn't feel like it's got enough of either way. It's not
Yeah.
pretty enough
Yeah.
to really draw me in, and it doesn't have enough statistics and the numbers and the detail like RimWorld and other games like that to suck me in and lose me forever. You know, it's stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'll second that.
Yeah.
All right, Deluxe, I'm going to go grab my supper.
Okay, quick opinion on Factorio and SuperHot.
Factorio, just omega levels of awesomeness. SuperHot, just omega levels of awesomeness, and basically be Neo from the Matrix. Done.
Okay, great.
10 out of 10 for both.
Now, before you go, one quick question about SuperHot.
Yes.
Based on your opinion on SuperHot, does that stand firm at $31.49? Factorio is $25. This is $31.49. I understand that these are two completely different genres designed to completely draw different types of gamers in, but based on the price alone and what you know of these games, what would you say? Or do you think that's worthwhile?
SuperHot is 31 and Factorio is what?
25.
Factorio. More content, longer term. Like from what I've seen of SuperHot, I mean it's a shooter basically. It's a shooter with slow mo and basically
Really cool
being
shooter.
OP. There is a lot of puzzle elements and it's very challenging later on. There's some very interesting challenge modes and some very cool stuff to do. However, for someone like me, I would probably prefer Factorio. Just building a massive place and managing it, and obviously, as you say, mods just optimal for me. SuperHot does not really have, I don't even know if it's even compatible with anything related to modding. Therefore, it would be placed on a secondary. I would rather go for Factorio.
Yeah. I like SuperHot. I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm not going to refund it. I'm going to probably play it because it's fun. It's one of those things you sit down for an hour and play. It's great.
Yeah, and actually it has a very interesting story, so maybe record it while you play it.
Well, that's interesting.
People will love it.
Ridiculous concept. But I tell you, if I wasn't doing this show, I wouldn't have paid $31.49. I would have waited until it was $5.99.
Indeed, I would have waited till it was less.
Okay, Luke, go eat your dinner. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate your time. Enjoy your spulak or whatever you're eating, because you always have a funny name for whatever you're eating. Just buy a hamburger, man.
You. Cheerio.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, Patchouli, your opinion on SuperHot?
Well, my opinion is that SuperHot is a very unique game in the FPS genre, and it has some really innovative mechanics and good ideas. And what it does with the game is something that was really doing, and we need this. We need games like this to reinvigorate the genre.
Oh, I agree.
Seriously.
I mean, I think even I mean, there's 600,000 people a day that plays CS:GO. There's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that are playing a variety of other genres. And the problem I have is that the experience is the same. Like COD, and I mean, there's a few others that are doing things a little bit differently. Like there's what is that other, the one, the cops one? I don't remember. There's a few others that are doing
GTA.
Well, there's GTA too as well, but I mean, really, it's all this real-time grab a gun, shoot people, do headshots, and it's pretty. It's not that they don't vary in some way, because they all do. I absolutely think they do. However, there needs to be something. They need to shake it up a little bit, and I think that this is going to be the thing that shakes up all of these things. But no, like I said with the other one that we're looking at today, this makes people think. Because if an indie game company can take, and we're not talking about high-res textures here. We're not talking about hiring a graphics art team to design 3D models. We're talking about somebody who probably spent, a couple months in 3D art studios or whatever, and just basically slapping together some glass characters that really are not terribly interesting if you look at it, if you compare it to like CSGO and all these other ones, and added this one unique dynamic to the game that absolutely changed the whole premise of what a first-person shooter could be.
Yeah, pretty much, because a lot of what we see in those mainstream games like Counter-Strike, COD, etc., they re-released essentially the same game with different graphics and one kind of new mechanic that kind of makes it a bit new, and that's just not enough to make them really new.
Would you
And
say, in your
SuperHot-
opinion, trying to make everything seem so real is actually taking away from the genre?
Well, that's a very good question, Rob. And yeah, I would like to tackle it here in a bit more depth. So you see, there are like two schools in gaming, one that play gameplay and one that prefer graphics.
Yeah.
And when you go the gameplay without graphics route, you get SuperHot. You get these really cool games that are innovative and have great ideas and stuff. And on the other spectrum, you get games that at first glance and furthermore seem unimpressive, like COD and Battlefield and stuff. And this usually makes people kind of feel awkward about playing games that are very graphics focused, right? Because everyone will say that, oh, you're just in it for the graphics and you don't really know what really cool gameplay is. But then there are games that have good graphics and are immersive.
Yeah.
And for those games, I would nominate Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I would nominate Dragon's Dogma.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Subnautica, because Subnautica is... Yeah, Subnautica has some really unique stuff in it. It drops you on an ocean planet. Like, everything is water. And it has water, beautiful sunsets on an ocean planet. That giant crashed ship in the distance, which is amazing. It's a really immersive game, like literally, because you're constantly immersed in water and silly puns, and yeah. I'll drop that now.
Hello, yes, I'm back, yes.
That was totally
yes,
inappropriate, Luke. Anyway, go on, Patchouli.
So to sum up my giant rant here, I would like to say that not always are games that are focused on graphics are bad. They can be good, like Subnautica, etc., etc. And I think it's necessary to take the best of both worlds here.
Yeah.
Play the games that are really good with gameplay and play games that are really good with immersion and graphics.
Yeah, some really great insights there. I agree with you. I think, but the AAA industry has been sort of leaning more and more and more and more towards making sure everything looks lifelike. I mean, there was a whole discussion just recently on Tomb Raider and the way that they've been able to make the little buckles on Lara Croft jingle and you know how realistic it looks and stuff. Whereas I find, but the game is still $60. That's where I really and I understand they have to charge that.
$60.
They have to charge that. They have to because of the size of the teams. They have a team of people their entire job is to make all the little baubles and trinkets on her belt jingle and float with physically, with proper physics and stuff. It's incredible. But the thing is that really why you and I, as people that have been playing games for a long time, keep coming back to playing games? Is it because we're excited to see how much realistic detail is being included in the game? And I think in some cases it's necessary, but in other cases, I don't know. It doesn't really equate to the amount of time I will necessarily spend with a game. I've spent more time with games like Reassembly and RimWorld and Factorio than I have with just about any $60 game I've ever purchased. And I was just teasing you, Luke, by the way.
That is also a difficult question to answer, but I won't spend too much time on it. I would just like to say that every game is a unique experience.
Yes.
And just like you said before that, what was it? Gardenium?
Yeah.
It's an experience game that you can experience once and then you just drop it.
Yeah.
Well, I see those really impressive graphics games as experience games as well.
Yeah.
Because you just go and it feels like you're watching a film, a high-budget film.
Yeah.
Because, well, what's the price for tickets in Canada?
For a film,
film.
like $18 per person for an adult for a 3D movie.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
to just take a friend to the film, it's like $30 or something, and that's pretty much what a AAA game costs.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but I mean, and I'm not trying to diminish. So just so before I get all of the hate mail, I am not trying to diminish the value of AAA games because I play them. I like AAA games. Don't get me wrong. I love that experience, but it's a very, very different experience intellectually, especially compared to some of the other games that I mentioned previously. Here's a perfect example, Shadow of Mordor, and it fits what you're talking about perfectly, about talking about going to a movie. Not only did I feel like this was the extra Lord of the Rings movie, criticize it however you want. You guys are probably going to, yell at me in the comments, whatever. But I enjoyed it as much as or more than the movie, as well as I thought the gameplay actually had some merit and it had some unique things to it. So this is one of these AAA titles that I think was worth the money, although I never paid $60. I got it on sale for $15. But you get the idea.
Yes.
And I know I'm bringing this up. This game's like, how old is this now? 2014. I'm so disappointed that they haven't come out with any more new stuff actually recently for it because I thought it was that good. I played it hardcore for like 2 weeks, but then I haven't gone back. I guess that's the ultimate point, right? I haven't gone back because I've played it. It's done. The movie's over. I've seen it. It was a great movie. Really enjoyed it. And maybe another day I'll watch it again, but the movie's over.
Yeah, it's a choice between getting a really good story and really good graphics, for which you sacrifice replayability, which you get in a lot of intellectual and gameplay-based games.
That's right. Thank you, Bahamut, for sending me hate mail. Appreciate that. In chat, he's like, sends hate mail. Perfect. I expect a little bit. That's okay. Luke, your opinion on this. Are you here?
Yes. What are we talking about?
We're talking about indie, low-budget games with interesting, unique content versus the AAA community or the AAA gaming scene, like is in Call of Duty, CS:GO, and even in cases, I guess you could talk about Shadow of Mordor and how they compare for experiences versus the price, and is it worth to spend all that money on making everything look absolutely real, like you're actually there?
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Okay, let me formulate my response. Okay.
I'm making myself comfortable.
Loading screen.
Loading, Luke. Luke loading. I need a little loading screen.
That's actually really true. I take a while to process things. It's really bad of me. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's the interesting thing. Like, how much is Reassembly compared to... Is there a AAA game that's like Reassembly? My first question. Is there a AAA game that's like Factorio? Is there a AAA game that's, I don't know, like...
Because, I don't...
anything
because
like
they spend so much time...
I know.
Go on.
I know.
Burp Electric
Really
Tiger
bad
says
analogy.
Luke is buffering, and I thought that was funny. Sorry, go on.
I agree. Now, I know, really bad analogy. But, I mean, like you two were saying, and this is why I'm struggling right now, because there's nothing I can really say to add on. You guys have summed it up perfectly. Like, AAA games are an experience. They're a movie that you pay and you play and you experience it once, and then, once you've had your experience, that was amazing, that was epic, I'm going to put it down and never get back to it. That's how that works, basically. Whereas indie games are more like a TV series. TV series can go on forever. And an indie game you can play, theoretically, like Factorio, you can play that forever. Yeah. Indie games are a little bit cheaper, and indeed, watching a TV series is significantly cheaper than going out to a movie. A movie, obviously, equating that to a AAA game, and that's kind of how I see it. In that,
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, my train of thought has suddenly died on me.
That's okay. I find, I'm wondering why AAA companies actually at this point in time, with the grand scheme of things, if they look around, I mean, look at Factorio's charging $25 for the game. It's an indie game. It's been out for years. This is not a new game. It's been out for years, and they're selling tons of copies. They're probably going to sell another 500,000 copies of this, and that's being conservative, I think. I mean, I look at games like Space Engineers. They sold 500,000 copies in the first, 5 or 6 months. So my argument would be, okay, so a lot of these AAA games are spending so much time making things look pretty rather than just, start getting some ideas. It would take so much less time and effort. Well, in some ways, based on the resources that they have, I guess it's the type of effort that they're putting in, because they don't. I guess with these a lot of these games, CS:GO is maybe a bad example. I mean, it's not terribly expensive, and it's more of an ongoing thing where you're spending money. But you get the idea. But like COD and stuff like that, where they spend all of their time making things look good and making sure that the actual mechanics of these weapons are correct and all that, and that's fine, rather than games like Reassembly and Factorio, where there's so much depth and statistic data. Like, they're data games. They're just filled with data. Whereas you'd really have to hire a completely different team to make those games. Whereas I would think, from an intellectual point of view, making a game where you stand around and you shoot things would be far easier in a lot of ways than making a game that requires a zillion different parts and a zillion different pieces of information for each single object in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And okay, now getting back to my train of thought. As you were saying, I mean, all the little bells and whistles, all the things on Lara Croft that jingle, and all the things that are just absolutely, in my eyes, completely unnecessary, because I'm not playing to look at Lara Croft's stuff jingle about.
But some people are. Some people are. Some people are going to that.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I agree with that. And that's the problem with AAA titles. They're obviously, you know this, but like, they have to aim to everyone. Yeah. And obviously then they have to kind of, divert entire teams to make the little bells whistle and the little bells whistle and make everything shit.
You rang my bell.
Yep, to make everything do its thing. And I mean, in the end, I would actually like to see the statistics of how many people enjoy watching the little things jingle, or just enjoy the aesthetic in and of itself, in the entirety of having all the little details.
Every game reviewer ever on every website will sit there and literally gush over the little things on the little belt buckle jiggling around, and how the physics is so perfect with it. It looks realistic. You can see it waving in the wind, and they'll have 3 paragraphs of this. It's horse pucky. Sorry, I was about to say a bad word there. It's horse pucky, and
it really is.
And it's not that really is. I mean, sure, it looks cool, and what an amazing achievement, but it does nothing for the game.
Exactly, which is what I was trying to get to. It does something for the game. Sure, it's aesthetically pleasing, but is it gameplay pleasing? Does it give a nice mechanic? No, and it doesn't help let the game have some longevity and some sustenance,
And that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up, longevity, because I think of it, in 2 years from now, nobody's going to care about this version of, like, the Batman. Here's a great example. The older versions of Batman, I went and started playing Arkham Knight, and I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to play a AAA game, well, I'm going to play with this old graphics. Like, yeah, at the time, it was amazing, and everybody was gushing over these amazing graphics. Was it Arkham Knight, or I don't remember, it was one before that, whatever, the Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
And
Arkham Asylum.
Batman. So we'll bring this up here. So and I went and I wanted to play the new one, but there was so many bad reviews, so I wouldn't buy it, right? So I'm waiting for it to be $10. And then I will buy it. But I couldn't go back, and I'd never played this one. I never played Arkham Asylum, and I started to play it, and I'm like, but if I'm going to play a AAA game, I don't want this old graphics. That's the thing. I think the standards are so much higher for this now. Like, it's over the roof. Like, people won't go back to this. They might. I'm not saying nobody will. But I'm saying a lot of people won't go back to this because the standard, it just doesn't meet it. They just can't meet the standard. It was a $60 game when it came out. And if I'm going to play a $60 game, whether or not I bought it for $10 now or not, or $5, it is irrelevant. I want to have that. I want it to be so real I can taste the suit when I'm wearing it. Like, you know what I'm saying, right? So, and I guess it's the pit that the AAA gaming industry that has put themselves in. They've done that to themselves.
They're digging it for themselves.
Yeah,
And
they've made
think
it
that you have brought the topic right where we get to point out that the AAA game industry is a business.
Yeah.
Now, first and foremost, and they have long time, several year contracts with their game publishers that demand them to publish a new game in every several years.
Yeah.
For example, Nintendo, the game company, it has an entire department dedicated to finding ways to continue their old franchises. Like, they have a whole department of people thinking, how do we make a new Mario that we haven't done before?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
that exists.
I criticize, having that stuff on the belt buckle of Lara Croft and how if it didn't, because it jingles, they're going to have 3 paragraphs of that in the review. Just imagine if it didn't, if the new version didn't have that extra little bit of something. So think about the next version of Lara Croft. It's got to be better. It's got to be better. It's got to have better physics for the belt buckles, or people are going to be choked. It's going to be a riot. But anyway,
damn it, people. It really makes me depressed about humanity, actually.
Not trying to depress. I'm not putting down those games because I play them, I love them, but it's short-lived, and I don't even know what's
the movie.
It's under Tomb Raider, right? Tomb Raider, not Lara Croft. I remember playing the first versions of Tomb Raider. I loved it, and this one actually looks really good. Is it under? I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to look it up. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call that an episode that's went way longer than I expected. And I apologize to those of you that have been just kind of enduring this going, God, are they ever going to stop talking? But Luke and I have been talking actually for some time, briefly here and there in passing, about having some kind of, actually talking about video games. And I think this was one of the first times we've actually done that. And it's been fun.
Indeed.
And of course,
I agree.
I'm not excluding you in that, Patchouli. It's just Luke and I have been talking about this for a while, and actually your insight was amazing. I really appreciate your comments and insight into the industry. So, but anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. You guys on both in my ear and on the stream, because this was actually, I think, a lot of fun, more fun than average. I think.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for me to get out and use my vocal cords.
Vocal curds, as in C-U-R-D-S? Is that like a cheese curd? Hold on. Maybe... Hold on.
No, it's the thing in your throat that makes the voice.
A vocal
pronunciation.
Curd? Hold on. Curd. How do you spell that? C-U-R-D?
Voice box.
Vocal cord.
Oh, vocal cord. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I was like, I don't know something here. I thought there was something in my voice box that's supposed to be spelled C-U-R-D, and I'm like, I don't know that. I feel like an idiot. Okay, sorry. Vocal cord. Sorry. Yes.
I think the problem is his lovely accent.
You have a gorgeous accent. By the way, where are you from again, Patchouli?
I'm from Ukraine.
Ah, fantastic.
And the thing is that I've had a lot of experience writing things and not nearly enough experience speaking in English.
Your English is spectacular. I think you sound great. That's why I invited you to the show today, because I think I really enjoyed having you on last week, and I love your insights, of course, because I read them all the time. Like I said, I dedicate a day to that. I just type in, search for Patchouli, and I just read everything you say, and it takes an entire day. But so I really appreciate you coming on the show. Do you do anything specifically on the internet that people could find you and maybe look you up and say, hey, I want to read something that Patchouli has done, aside from YouTube comments?
Unfortunately not, because I'm like this person that doesn't put stuff that I do on the internet. I play a lot of games, I read and watch a lot of things, but I don't put it on the internet at all.
Well, I guess this is the place where people can find you then. Because I don't know, I've really enjoyed having you on. I just love your insights today. You totally inspired us to just talk, which was amazing. And of course we have Luke. Thank you once again, Luke. You're absolutely delightful, whether you're choking into the microphone or you're just leaving in the middle of the stream to go get something to eat, and or just showing up and laughing randomly. I don't know. You're always a delight.
Thanks, Deluks. Thanks.
And
yes.
Sorry, go on.
Yes, and next time I shall improve my professionality optimally. Next time I won't have a braai, and I won't get food right in the middle, and I also won't have a shower.
Well, I can't smell you through the internet. I don't care if you have a shower or not. That's fine.
Luckily.
You have to live with your own scent, though. And whoever you live with has to live with your own scent. So that's
She
fine.
does, yes.
But as always, I really enjoy having you on. You're delightful. We learn new words with you, too, like professionality and brie and ducats. Oh, wait. No, it's not ducats. What is it? What do you deal in? Seashells. Yeah, we learn all sorts of things about South Africa, too, which is great. And it's all in good fun. I hope you know that. But anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the show. I'm going to wrap this up.